Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we're in a shop today, and you can see the Corvette is still on the lift behind us. Today's kind of a continuation of the previous video with the oil cooler install. We're still working on the parts that we want to get installed before we go race the car in Indiana. And the next part that we're doing today is this catch can from Synergy Motorsports or XtremeCFM. Yeah, so basically what we have here is a new fender vent catch can for the Corvette, and you guys will see over here that we've already been working over here, and you guys might freak out, but where is the fender? The fender is basically off the car because we're going to be replacing the Pro Speed catch can that we have on there with this catch can from XtremeCFM. It's almost like someone had previously bought the Pro Speed can, wasn't happy with it, and they decided to make their own. So I think that's how this product came to light. So yeah, if you guys can see, you know, it's a very similar setup. It goes under the fender. It's got two vents on the top. This one just has, you know, each valve cover and then a drain at the bottom, and then it has the middle connector for the valley cover. So I've had this catch can on here for a couple years now, and it's been okay. You know, when I had the old motor and the old blower, the 2300, I was okay with this setup, but now that we've gone with the 2650 and the forged motor, I'm just constantly smelling obnoxious gases and fumes inside the car. It's just this whole area, you know, I think the fresh air is somewhere in this vicinity, and it just basically gets sucked into the interior. Not really through the HVAC, but just due to the fact that, you know, my feet are probably 6 inches from this. So, you know, it probably just comes through the firewall, gets blown in through the wind or whatever. And yeah, basically, I haven't been very happy with it because, like I said, you get these obnoxious fumes in the car. And, you know, I think on a stock setup, it probably works just fine. But with the craziness that we've gone to, you know, I just think it's not going to cut it anymore. And so, yeah, the main objective of today's video is to swap out this catch can for the XtremeCFM one. I also believe there might be a slight horsepower gain as well. I don't think it's going to be a significant amount of number. It might be a couple of horsepower, but I saw one guy with the ZR1 swap the same catch can, or maybe he had a Mighty Mouse catch can, but he went to this XtremeCFM, and I think he picked up a couple wheel. It wasn't a ton, but it was, you know, a couple wheel, and hey, that's not a bad thing at the end of the day. So, and with those extra ports being available, it makes this system a closed system. It does have a pop-off valve, like I said in the other video. Basically, when this thing sees so much pressure that it needs to release, it will. It's got some check valves here, and if I shake it, you guys can hear it. And so, yeah, so that's what we picked this up. I want to say I paid, maybe it's $375, $385, which isn't totally bad. I believe the kit retails for like about $1,000. So, you know, we got like $600 off, and I don't need to run all the lines that we already have. So we only have to run one or two more lines. And that's basically going to be the bridge, like we said. And then there's another port on the blower, which my finger is pointing to. So the way I bought this kit, they sell you just the bare can, the little pop-off valves I was talking about, as well as the air filters up top. So you got the can, the aluminum piece, that's the pop-off valve, and then the two little air filters on top. That's how it comes. Now, we did have to buy some fittings like I was saying, so we got some 90-degree fittings here. This is going to be for those hoses that we need to assemble, so for the intake and blower ports. Then on this side, we got some block-off plates. We do not have a dry sump currently, so we block that off. And then this one on valley cover number 2, that actually needs to come and put on this back port right here. All right, guys, we got the catch can out, and if you guys can hear, there's actually some stuff in here. So let's go ahead and knock this drain loose and see what comes out. All right, so I have knocked this fitting loose, and oh man, that was a lot of condensation. And there is no ethanol on the car right now. And I'm pretty sure I drained this before we went to the dyno. So there is no ethanol, no ED5. That's crazy, the amount of condensation that was in this thing. I didn't think there'd be that much in it, but dang. And before any of you guys freak out, that was not Dexcool coming out of the catch can. I have never run Dexcool in this car since like probably 10 years ago. I've been using the green stuff forever. This blower, this new supercharger, this new motor has never seen Dexcool. We've run the green stuff forever. So just that milky, frothy, orangish, brownish color is not Dexcool. I just want to alleviate any fears that you guys might have. So, all right, so here is the Pro Speed and the XtremeCFM side by side. And the mounting system obviously is a bit different. The Pro Speed went wide, the XtremeCFM went narrow. I don't really have a preference on which mounting system. You know, the other one went wide, the other one went tall. So this one we're gonna have to knock down a bit, but I don't think that should be a problem. With the wider mount system, I was able to utilize that and use it for my mounts for the relay as well as the vacuum block. As far as the XtremeCFM can, I'm gonna remove the filters, obviously. There are 6 mounting holes. I think we're just gonna use 4. I don't think you need all 6. And yeah, you know, this one used 4 and it was just fine. So, plus this one seems to be a little bit lighter. So I don't think we'll have an issue needing all 6 of those riv nuts. So, all right guys, we've moved ahead a little bit. I've already gone ahead and mounted the bracket for the electronics as well as the vacuum block. We've already gone ahead and taken care of that, so that's going to be mounted without any issue. So you will see these green marks in here. Basically, we need to drill holes and trim all of this stuff away. The way this can sits, it's actually flat on the back, so you can't have any of these ridges here. So I'm going to have to go ahead, cut out this section right here, this section on the bottom, and we're basically going to cut this lip off, kind of like I was saying, and make it flat. And then at the very top here, you guys can see these 2 mounting holes. That's where we're going to mount the riv nuts. That's actually what we use over here, if you guys can see back there. I'm not sure if you can, but we use a set of coil pack bolts and riv nuts, and you know, it's solid. This ain't going anywhere. So make sure you wear breathing protection. And how we're going to do this is we're going to use an angle grinder and just cut slots along this raised part here. You know, I cut slots on this raised part on the bottom. Then you guys will see I have a Dremel with a very small blade, and we'll use that to cut this angle out right here. So, and then for the top 2 mounting holes, we're just going to drill it, use the unibit, and call it a day. So, all right guys, you can see I got the tank mounted. I have modified all of the fiberglass reinforced plastic that we need to. You guys can see our hole is a little bit off. That's on me. Basically, when I mocked this up, I didn't remount it to see if it still fits. But yeah, I just need to slot this hole a little bit, and just a little bit to the right, and we'll be able to get this tightened up. And you know, so far everything looks like it's going to fit without issue. You know, we just got to move some of the hoses, and I think we'll have plenty of clearance. So, all right guys, you can see we got the can mounted, and we got 3 of the 5 hoses installed. We got the valley, we got the 2 valve covers, then over here we've got the 2 hoses that we still need to make. But just wanted to get the plastic reinforced fiberglass, all that stuff. We just wanted to get it mounted and solid. Well, everything's good, except I'm going to be using another mounting hole back where my finger is. Because if you guys can see, you know, this thing, it's moving around a little bit, and I want to get a 3rd point in here. If you guys try to use the bottom one, you know, the one behind this filter, the plastic actually goes like that, so you'd be mounting to the air. So I'm going to use a 3rd bolt down here, and I think that'll help tighten this up. Plus, I might end up moving the MSD relay down a little bit, and that'll help us, you know, get a little bit more clearance. Because right now, this fitting and the relay are fighting for the same space. So, all right, guys, we've gone as far as we can today. We've gotten the catch can mounted. I got the electronics and the vacuum block mounted back. I actually had to move the MSD relay down a little bit. If you guys can see, there's an old hole right there. I just moved it down about a 1/2 inch. And yeah, so that is no longer running into this extra port that we have on the back of the catch can. So 2 new holes there. I had to take that strap off, add a couple washers because we were running into space up here. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. We've gone as far as we can with the install today. I actually don't have any 3/8 rubber hose. And second, I don't have an adapter fitting down here below. This is a -8 on the XtremeCFM. On the Pro Speed, they use a -6. So our drain line is a -6, but we need to get a little adapter from a -8 to -6. All right, guys, winter has officially come. I think the high today was like 30 something. Tomorrow's supposed to be 60, but I think the low was in the 20s. And yeah, it is quite cold out here. I am bundled up here in 3 layers. And yes, I do have some of my own merchandise that you guys can go buy over at BonecrrusherSS.com. Shameless plug, but we're going to do it anyways. And so yeah, I actually have been waiting on a number of parts to finish up the catch can project on the Corvette. We've got a bunch of them here. Some of that stuff will be opened up in future videos. Some will be opened up today. But what I need to get are some of the quick connect fittings. They're a 3/8 or a 10 millimeter. It's like 9.9 millimeter barb to, I think it's a J2044, J024, something like that. And those are the quick connect fittings that will go into the intake, the side of the supercharger, the valve covers, all of those type fittings. Now, I obviously do not have those fittings on the valve covers. So we have those -10 lines that we put in from Dedicated Motorsports like forever ago. So I got a spool of 3/8 fuel injection hose that we're gonna run from the catch can out to the air bridge, as well as the can back to the side of the supercharger. And that's gonna be basically finishing up the project. Now, we do have everything done from the perspective of the catch can. And as you guys can see, it says intake and then blower. We ran our lines down, underneath, up, through the fender right here. And you guys will see these 2 new black lines right here. These are the 2 rubber hose lines, the fuel injection hose like I was talking about. I ran it down, back behind the blower, behind the fuel lines, behind everything back there, up and over. You guys can see this 1 line facing you. That will be the supercharger fitting. I needed a 3/8 barb by that 10 millimeter or 9.7 whatever millimeter it is. I'll have a part number for that down below. I needed a 45-degree angle. I have a 90 on there now, and the 90 is pointing straight up, and it's unfortunately gonna be pointing right to the bottom of the coolant hose. And then you guys can see the second line running here past the throttle body right into here onto the air intake bridge of the Kong Performance intake. And yeah, so we do have 1 line fully done. The second line is 98% done. We're just waiting for that fitting. And so yeah, that is the basic routing and getting all this stuff done. Now I will give you guys one secret. I took a welding rod that I basically use to pull wires through any situation I want. You can also pull hose as well. So you guys can see this welding rod right here that's bent up a little bit and some masking tape. And that's basically how I do it. I basically just put the hose next to the welding rod, tape it a bunch, and then I feed it to wherever it needs to go. And that worked perfectly because I was able to go in and grab the hose from this end, pull it out the rest of the way, run it where we need to go, then, you know, the intake, the blower, and all that. So, and I might have another $14 or $15 on that 25-foot reel of Dayco fuel injection hose. Like I said, this is just 3/8 hose, and it is from Dayco. It's not some Chinese stuff. Well, maybe Dayco makes it in China as well. But the really cheap stuff that's on Amazon, if you guys read the reviews on that stuff, be very careful, because basically they said people ran it as a fuel injection line, put it on their car, and the rubber started melting from the inside out. Basically, it fell apart. And within like 2 tries, it either gummed up the fuel system, the hose sheared, the hose broke, whatever. So I wanted a better branded hose. That Dayco stuff took about a week. And if you guys type in the part number, I'll have it down below. AutoZone sells it, Advanced Auto Parts sells it. I think another place sells it, but I'm pretty sure I got it on Amazon, but the shipping was like 7 days. So I did have to wait a while. But the other thing you guys have to think of, if you guys go to the store, they sell that same hose by the foot at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa for $10 a foot. I got 25 feet for $14 versus $10 a foot. And if you guys add it up, I probably have a solid 10 feet in each run, maybe 8 feet in each one of these runs from here through the engine bay up, and then up to the intake, and then up to the blower. Say I've got 10, 12 feet in there, you know, that's $120. But yeah, I did want to show you the hose assembly. Like I said, it's 3/8 inner diameter by 25 feet. It is Dayco. Part number is 80063. And yeah, like I said, it pays to shop around. And so yeah, that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. we've made a little bit more progress on our road to Indy, and you know, we'll get this thing wrapped up and hopefully running in the next couple weeks. It is winter right now. I'm not sure when you guys are going to see this video, but we actually did just get snow here in North Carolina for the first time in like 5 years. So it is snowy. No real rush to get this car back on the road, but once we knock out the rest of the projects, we'll be well on our way getting ready for Indy. So if you guys want to follow the rest of these projects, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. If you guys want to help support the channel, check out all the links down below. I'll try to include links for everything that we've used in the video. The fittings, the plugs, the hose, the plastic fittings. At least I'll give you a part number for that. Give you all that information down below. And also we should have some new merchandise for the Corvette. Check that out at BonecrrusherSS.com. Any support that you guys can give there goes right back into this project, this race, the cost, the fuel, the Airbnb, all that stuff. And like I said, any support will be appreciated, and that's gonna be it. Thanks guys, have a great one.